Hello, Bagby Barracuda artists. We are going to do a new project today using tissue paper, liquid starch, and black paper cutouts to make a landscape showing distance perspective. So first, let's go through what you should have in your art kit. In your kit, you should have a piece of newsprint. It's a big piece of plain paper. This is for covering your desk and keeping your workspace clean and for easy cleanup when you finish. You should have a letter, and there's a photograph of some examples of this project that Bagby students have done in the past. You have a white piece of craft paper. You have a paintbrush, a glue stick, some paper towels to clean up any messes. You have some liquid starch. You have a jar. It's in a plastic bag just in case the jar leaked. But you have a jar of it's going to work like very thin glue, liquid starch. Oopsie, mine leaked a little bit on my hand already. I'm just going to clean my hand off. So, and then you should also have an envelope, a white envelope. And inside your envelope are going to be a few things. And these can be a little messy, so take them out carefully. You should have trees or houses. Everyone got something different. You should have 3 trees in a large, medium, and small size. And then you should have a stack of tissue paper. So let me pause for a minute and then I will show us how to set up our workspace. Before you begin, let's open up your newsprint and lay it out to keep your workspace clean. Okay. Then we want to take out our tissue papers here, and we want to sort them a little bit by color. And what I mean by that is, let's see if we can put them in order of the color wheel. So we have a light green, or we have a dark green, I have a light green, I have a yellow. Brown isn't on our color wheel, but yellow is close to brown. And then I have an orange and a red. So let me put orange over here. Okay. So you might have different colors. Everyone got some different colors, but what you should have is at least 6 colors, and you should be able to put them in groups of 2. So 2 that are similar or next to each other on the color wheel. So in this case, I have these 2 are close to each other on the color wheel. Orange and yellow are close to each other on the color wheel. And brown is a little different, but it is close to red in color. So we're going to pair these off 2, 2, and 2. Okay, here's how we should lay out our workspace. You need one thing from home, and that'll be a pencil. And we're just going to use that to make a light line. Let's set aside our glue stick and our 3 houses or trees off to one side. We don't need those until the project is finished. Let's open up our jar of starch here. We have a brush, and that can go in the starch. We have a tissue or a paper towel to keep it clean. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide our paper into 3 sections. The foreground, which is the closest part, the middle ground, which is the middle of the paper, and the background of the paper. One thing you have to choose is, are you going to do your paper landscape horizontally, or will you do it vertically in portrait mode? It doesn't matter, any way you like. So you can decide you want your paper like this or like this. Today I'm going to do mine like this. So here are some examples. Everyone either has houses or trees to do, and those are going to set those aside for now. So to begin, I want to divide my paper into 3 sections. And they can be any kind of line you want. Straight, curvy, that way. Give it a little design there. So we have 3 sections, and we're going to use 2 colors to cover most of each section. So liquid starch works a little bit like glue, and we're going to tap a little bit off, and we're just going to get maybe the first half wet. And then take our two colors we're gonna mix together. So we had our two greens here. And for some students, the hardest part of this task, if you have your papers stuck together, for some kids, the hardest part is getting the pieces separated because sometimes the paper is really stuck together well. And we're gonna cover this whole section and we're gonna let it overlap off the edges of the page. And we're gonna set the papers in different angles. And we're gonna have at least maybe one layer, 2 layers, or 3 layers of paper in any spot. So then the tissue paper is really thin. So when you get it wet, it soaks through. And you're gonna paint on your starch. It soaks through and creates a kind of stained glass, or kind of almost turns the tissue paper into paint, kind of. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little more wet here. I'm gonna put some more pieces down. And they're gonna stick to your fingers, which is okay. That's one of the fun things about art, is sometimes art should be messy. In fact, I got a little starch on my fingers and it makes it easier to pick up the papers. And it's okay if the paper rips. It's okay if it accidentally wrinkles, because we're just gonna use the starch. So that one, see, that one's accidentally wrinkled. I'm gonna just get a wet brush, and you're just gonna push the paper down, push the tissue into the paper. And you wanna make sure that a couple things are happening. Go all the way over the edges, and you can go a little bit over your line because we want these sections to kind of overlap when we finish. And you want to make sure that all of the paper is stuck onto wetted paper. All the tissue is stuck onto wetted craft paper, and then it gets wet on top. Okay, I'm going to pause for here for a sec. Okay, I'm going to finish this section in green, and then I'm going to let the video speed up a little bit just so you can see me finish. But I'm going to do the other colors and use the paintbrush to stick it down. You see how it just sticks to my finger? Oh, there's 2 layers there. Let's see if I can move them around. There we go. Oh, I think I need some the lighter green over here, don't you think? I'll put that down. Oh, I still have some white. Let's see if we can cover the white this way. So see this light piece I just put over the dark one? It shows through. Oh, there's a slightly different color green. And that's okay. Sometimes you'll have different mixes of tissue papers. We have lots of this paper at Bagby, and so sometimes the colors were mixed together. Oh, you see how some of that green is coming off? Okay, I think that piece is done. So let's continue working and do the rest of the colors up the rest of the page. Okay, once you've covered all of your paper, you're going to want to lift your art project off of the newsprint because it will stick and dry to that, and then we'll have a hard time separating it. What you're going to do is take it off. We can clean this up. And then we want to leave, this is just liquid starch, so it's not going to make a big mess, but you're going to leave it to dry somewhere for maybe an hour or so, or a little bit. And then this is a 2-part project. You're going to come back and finish the other part with your trees afterward. So here's an example of a piece I did earlier, and you can see the paper's coming off all the edges. And then what we're going to do is we can take a pair of scissors and trim around the outside, and trim off the extra paper. Make the edges clean. And go from the other side. And you'll notice that this page is a little bit wrinkly. What we're going to do is once we finish the project, I'm going to put a heavy book on top of it to let it help it flatten out. Okay, trimmed off the extras. You can lie this down here like that. Oh, I think I want to turn it around. I want the green to be the grass in the front and this to be my kind of sunset sky. And then we're going to look at our 3 trees. And if these trees were all the same size in real life, the one that was bigger would be the one that was closest. And if the same size tree was further away, it would be smaller. So we're going to put it in the middle ground. And another tree even further away is going to be smaller. And so this shows that this tree is close up, this one's in the middle, and this one is in the background. And we're going to glue down our trees. One other thing you might notice is some of your trees have like pencil marks on them from when they were drawn and cut out. Let's put the glue on the side where there is pencil mark. And then when we put that side down, the glue on any side that has pencil marks, it won't show on your drawing. So this one, look, I can check both sides. This one has pencil on this side, so we put the glue on the pencil side. Oh, gotta put some glue on the tree trunk. These goes there. This one has a pencil right down the middle. There we go. You could set them like this. You could put this tree over here. And put them on this side, actually. There you go. And then, there you have our stained glass with tissue paper and liquid starch and some perspective silhouettes showing trees that are close and far away. And the last thing you want to do is put a big heavy book on it to help flatten it out and let it dry. And then we'll take the wrinkles out. I hope you had fun making another project. Bagby Barracudas, you're beautiful artists. Have a good day.